Is why I have all the merchandise. So if I have all the merchandise, I say you gave me all the merchandise. You sold it to me, and the person says that's ridiculous. You're lying. You have documentation. It's not really documentation. It's in my.
It seems a dangerous thing.
The worst thing that occurs. Everything in life you learn, depends how we use it.
And many careers have been were ruined during COVID with Zoom.
Really?
Things going on.
When the families fell apart, whatever you want.
Oh,
Bogato. Let's open the Ramban, Perashat Yitro. Rani is out. Rani has COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it's not sure. Maybe on the plane going or coming back.
it's going around like crazy again.
Yeah.
There's so many respiratory things going on, though. Not just that. The flu has been rampant.
Right. The flu is very strong and flu.
And whatever they call it, the respiratory
RSV, RVS, whatever it is.
whatever it is, yeah, that a lot of people.
Look in Sefer, Perashat Yitro, Perek Chaf, Pasuk Chet for us. I'm looking for page Tzadik Zayin. Look, it's the same print. Tzadik Zayin.
No. I have Perashat Yitro.
Yeah, this is it.
Yes.
Aval Raboteinu Od Midrash.
Perek is it?
If it's page Tzadik Zayin, the same.
Is it pasuk? Is it pasuk?
Give it to me. You have to make sure it says at the top Perashat Yitro. Yeah.
Sure.
What pasuk?
So big. Okay, got it.
Remember, this is Bereshit and Shmot.
I have it.
What pasuk, Rabbi Prague?
It's Pasuk Chav, but the truth is we have to read the entire Ramban, but let's forget now. We are focusing, what is the essence of Kiddush? I remember when we spoke about the Rambam, and the Rambam said, no, not for now. And the Rambam says that the idea is to praise Shabbat. So what is the Kiddush? What is the Kiddush? What are we achieving with the Kiddush? You see?
What?
Open this and page 7. You see,
Rabbi Prague, Chaf, Shmot Chaf, Perek Chaf, pasuk Chaf. It's nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you the Pasuk. Pasuk Chet. The Pasuk is Zachor et Yom HaShabbat HaKadisho, yes?
What?
The truth is that we needed like an hour to go through the Ramban. It's a major Ramban in general, but let's go to this part of the Ramban. Remember, we're trying to find out what am I achieving by making the Kiddush? Is it simply like Zachor et Asher Asa Lecha Amalek, Zachor et Asher Asa Hashem leMiriam? Look what the Ramban says. Aval Raboteinu Od.
Where are you seeing that in the Ramban?
Okay, this is approximately, if you take the last fifth of the Ramban, after he says, ואומר אני שזה מדרשו של שמאי הזקן, yes?
Okay, yeah. Baniza shel midrashos zakma, right?
Inward.
Oh, Aval Raboteinu. Okay, thank you.
אבל רבותינו עוד מדרש ממילת לקדשו. Listen carefully at the Ramban. Remember, we from the beginning when we looked at the Ramban, at the Rambam, the mitzvah is to show that the day is a special day by praising it. We right away felt how the Rambam learned the word lekadisho. Says the Ramban, this is Ramban, אבל רבותינו עוד בו מדרש ממילת לקדשו, שנקדשהו בזיכרון. Says the Ramban, listen, כעניין וקידשתם את שנת ה-50 שנה. When Yovel, till the destruction of till the galut of Yoyachin, every 50th year, is Yovel. And the Pasuk says, V'kidashtem, שהוא טעון קידוש בבית דין. כלומר, ביובל, מקודש מקודש. It is, בית דין is standing in the beginning of the Yovel, they announce, yes, Afkan, says the Ramban, David, you have it, David?
Yes.
It's here, on the left page in the bottom. Afkan, ציווה שנזכור את יום השבת בקדשנו אותו. We hear this comparison. According to the Ramban, part of the Kedusha has to do with us. Yes, the same way that Beit Din does by Yovel, וכך אמרו במחילתא, listen, לקדשו, קדשהו, remember now is the word not זכור, but קדשהו בברכה. מכאן אמרו מקדשים על היין בכניסתו. אין לי אלא ביום ללילה מניין תלמוד לומר ושמרתם את השבת. וזהו קידוש היום והוא מן התורה. אינו אסמכתא. וכך אמרו נשים חייבות בקידוש היום דבר תורה, וזה של קידוש הלילה. So listen carefully what he's saying now. If you remember a few days ago, a few weeks ago, we spoke about the concept of Kiddush HaChodesh. What is Kiddush HaChodesh? Yes? וזה, לפי שכל הטעונים קידוש, מתקדשים בכניסתן פעם אחת. Us, the Jews, are obligated to say that we are sanctifying it, כגון קידוש החודש, בקידוש היובל.
That's Beit Din, isn't it?
Right. So קידוש החודש, Eli says, is Beit Din. Yovel is Beit Din. Shabbat is we. אבל, here, look a second. אבל ביום, קידוש ביום, זה אסמכתא. ואין אומרים בו מקודש כלל, yes? שדיינו בפעם אחת בכניסתו, וכן על היין אסמכתא. So according to the Ramban, you realize it's a חידוש נפלא מאוד. By Rosh Chodesh we understand. Beit Din are in charge. Before they announce that today is Rosh Chodesh, it's not Rosh Chodesh. If they are not announcing that today is Rosh Chodesh, and the 15th it's not Pesach. And Yud B'Tishrei, it's not Yom Kippur. Here, where do you find something like that the day is Kadosh on his own, yes?
Well, that's
yes.
So then what do we do with the famous thing? What does it say? Baruch atah Hashem. We have nothing to do. Mekadesh Shabbat. Hashem is Mekadesh.
Listen carefully. So the commentators, when they talk about it, they say when a cow gives birth to the first animal, yes, when he is born, is kadosh from birth. But the Gemara says the owner has to say kadosh bechor. What do you do if it's kadosh bechor? Even if the owner didn't say anything, it's kadosh. Those who explain the Ramban are comparing it to bechor, which means the yom is kadosh regardless if you say kiddush or not. But our Mekadesh Shabbat is activating or adding a layer of the Kedusha of Shabbat. This is the way the Ramban learns. Unlike the Rambam who says that the mitzvah is just to praise the Shabbat, the Ramban is saying Le Kadesho, yes, Le Kadesho means that by us, remember he compares it to Yovel, he compares it to Rosh Chodesh, and the commentators that explain the Ramban say that the Ramban means the same as Bechor. The Bechor is Kadosh from birth, yes? We don't have here, but if you look at the Sefer that the son of the Rambam wrote, המספיק לעובדי השם. Rabbi Labaton used to love this sefer, amazing sefer. He says there is a simple Shabbat, a higher level of Shabbat, a much higher level of Shabbat, a regular Shabbat that all of us, 99.9% of all the Jews are doing is to keep Shabbat, to be Kiddush, meal, this, that. Otherwise, is every time I'm not doing A or B in my mind, the reason is because I am believing that today is a day that God finished, completed the Bria. More than that, so this is the Lekadesho. If the Kiddush is done the proper way, we are connected to Shabbat.
So why doesn't the pasuk say Kadesh Yom HaShabbat? Period.
The
Why do
pasuk. Okay, so let's go. The pasuk says Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadesho. So listen again. Zachor et asher asa Amalek. Rambam. Everyone says I have to remember in order to, so to say, keep in my memory that in the right time I would fight him. I have to hate him. Good. Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek. I'm sorry. Zachor et asher asa Hashem leMiriam. I have to be careful and I have to guard my tongue by remembering Miriam. If the Torah says here Zachor, only Zachor, yes, what would that mean? Says the Ramban, you are adding a layer that has to do with you and the Kedusha of Shabbat, and the Shabbat is a different Shabbat by you. Again, not in the world, the Shabbat is automatically there. Now, I forgot to bring the book, but the Rambam, the quote that the Rambam says, look at the Chumash second in Perashat Yitro. Here, look at the Chumash, Perashat Yitro.
The Chutta, he's saying, says that it's a Shamov is for the daytime, for the night and the day, and so there's no asmachta. It's from. Okay.
When the Ramban says before here, I said you're right. Open the Chumash of Perashat Yitro.
The Rambam Shamov is a Kiddush in Havdalah, right? And he says.
Correct.
So it's all
Look at Perashat Yitro. There is something more in regard to Kiddush. Every time.
Rabbi Prague. So when you teach us, and when we get to Vayikra, we're going to open up Perek Kedoshim and the Parsha Kedoshim. How are you going to translate that? Kedoshim, it says there, it's Muvdalim and Mufrashim. You use it based on context. The word the Kadsho, I mean, they just
Of course, here is a context. It's obvious. He's saying Kedoshim Kiddush, all the Perushim of the Mefarshim. Okay, here, look a second. Aseret HaDibrot. Let's read what it says, page 968, Perek Hey, Pasuk Yudbet, Shamor et Yom HaShabbat lekadesho. This is Zachor v'Shamor. Kasher tzivcha Hashem Elokecha. Well, we spoke already last week in Mara. ששת ימים תעבוד ועשית כל מלאכתך ביום השביעי שבת להשם אלוקיך. אוקיי, לא תעשה כל מלאכה, אתה ובנך ובנתך ועבדך ועמתך, fine. Okay, now listen carefully. פסוק ט"ו, מילה, you have it? page 970, פסוק ט"ו, פרק ה' פסוק ט"ו. וזכרת כי עבד היית בארץ מצרים, ויוציאך השם אלוקיך משם ביד חזקה, please listen good, ובזרוע על כן ציווך השם אלוקיך לעשות את יום השבת. הרמב"ם, I think it's in מורה נבוכים, I mean I saw it being quoted, says this is Shabbat. So according to the Shabbat, by saying the Kiddush, yes, And by sanctifying the Kiddush, I remember what? That we came out of Mitzrayim, we became a nation. And by remembering that today is a special day, I'm not sanctifying the day.
Yeah.
The Pasuk is clearly saying that the purpose of Shabbat is וזכרת כי עבד היית בארץ מצרים, ויוציאך השם. This is what Rabbi Avraham ben Arambam in the Sefer HaMastik לעובדי Hashem says. This is a higher level of keeping Shabbat. It's not I'm not doing and subconsciously I'm not doing in my mind because of וזכרת כי עבד היית, I became a nation. I'm celebrating the Shabbat because in Yetziat Mitzrayim we saw how Hashem made us a nation and Hashem is in control.
How do we compare that to Yitro? Now both are in the Kiddush. You have B'riyat Ha'olam in the first part, and you have Mitzrayim here. So Yitro we have that Yom HaShabbat.
So now
Okay,
now we're going to look at the Siddur. Let's see if we have
Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
wouldn't it have been much easier if the Torah had come out and said B'Feirush what it is? This is like it seems like this is learning from the Pasuk. Why it would have been simpler if the Torah simply said Kadesh Yom Shabbat al. I mean, we're learning this all. It's such a.
But you realize it works.
I mean, if obviously there's a problem here because everybody has a different interpretation.
You are right. Every mitzvah, every mitzvah is the same. Most of the serious mitzvot are not written in details, and I mean, I have a sefer that brings approximately 8 opinions, 8, what Kiddush is. The truth is, no, but the truth is, if you look at the package, you understand that everyone is touching another angle of Shabbat, yes? Everyone, every Jew, everyone that does Kiddush knows Friday night with a cup of wine, I'm saying the text. We are trying to analyze what is the message that I'm getting to myself and my family. So again,
But see, Shmirat Shabbat makes sense. You know what a Shmirah is. The Zechirah.
So the Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim says, when you are saying the Kiddush and you are praising the day, subconsciously it's a reminder, yes? The day is special. I mean, this is how it triggers it. And it fits very well. We spoke many times already. The Rambam clearly in Ilchot Yom HaKippurim shows you there is no Tosefet Shabbat min Torah. Still, the Rambam says you can make Kiddush early. Oh, thank you, Eli. So the Rambam says you can make Kiddush on Tosefet Shabbat. How? If you learn like this, it's perfect. As Shabbat is coming in, yes, I'm sanctifying it and I'm reminding myself what is Shabbat.
See, that's interesting. The word Zechirah. You know the Gemara that where it says, how do you learn that do you have to read the Megillah? It doesn't say L'kro et Megillah. Nizkarim b'na'asim. How do you know that Nizkarim should mean that you say that you have to say the Megillah?
Good. So you remember that we saw in Megillah Daf Yutet this week at the beginning of the week. And the Gemara says, Ktov zot zikaron b'sefer. This is exactly how the Gemara learns. Since it says at the end of Beshalach, Ktov zot zikaron. I remember by reading in the book. Open a second to the text of the Kiddush. The text of the Kiddush.
Friday night.
Right, Friday night.
And if it's so important to say Kiddush, why is it just seems to be, if it's so important, the Kadesh Shabbat, why is it just restricted, not restricted, or why preference is to Friday night? You should say it all day Shabbat also.
Okay, so this is what Eli mentioned before. There's one opinion in the Rishonim, one. I mean, you have to realize the early Rishonim, one. It says it's Minat Torah. If you want to see it in Gemara, Kiddush Bayom, yeah.
But we don't mention Kiddush Shabbat.
Of course not. The Ramban says openly we're not mentioning Kiddush. according to the Rambam, you understand it perfectly, yes?
Yeah.
If the idea is lekadesh et Shabbat, when Shabbat comes in.
When it's not sato, so it's just only when it comes in do you make the
Yeah, no, I told you when you left, you understand perfectly according to the Rambam that even though Tosefet Shabbat is not min Torah, but the mitzvah to make Kiddush is as Shabbat comes in. Yes, as Shabbat comes in. Look at the text of the Kiddush.
But why? But why as it comes in? Why can't you wait 2 hours later? What is the thing that?
No, also, if you didn't do it before, of course you do it later.
Well, that's a bit the evidence. But
The idea, right? If you didn't say it at night, you can say 10 minutes before Mincha.
Right.
The same text without Vaychulu.
So it's
Look a second at the text now. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו, which is the standard text. ורצה banu. Now, do you realize that? I'm taking out as a teacher. מה זה ורצה? How is ורצה banu connected to Kiddush? Remember, yes? אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להניח תפילין. I don't say אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו וציוונו להניח תפילין. ורצה בנו, this is a very strong hint to what we said before. You see in ספר דברים, זכר ליציאת מצרים. He shows us to be his nation, yes? And by that, yes, the Shabbat.
how would you translate V'ratzah banu?
רצון, הוא רוצה אותנו, he shows us, כן?
Beloved.
שקידשנו במצוות. סמי, מה פירוש ורצה בנו?
Really, it's beloved. I'm his beloved.
למה לא? סמי אומר, ואהב אותנו. המילה, you remember in the תפילה of 3 רגלים, אתה בחרתנו סמי מכל העמים, yes? אהבת אותנו, what's the next sentence?
רצה בנו.
רצית בנו. It's the same רצית.
What does it say? What does it say then? What does it say mean? What does it say?
Desired.
This is not.
How about desired, Rabbi?
רוצה אותנו. This fits very well into, בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון, הנחילנו, yes? זיכרון למעשה בראשית. Now, we understand that.
Actually, not really.
Why,
What does Maaseh? So I understand Yetziat Mitzrayim. He made us a nation. He gave us the Shabbat. What does beside Maaseh Bereshit now have to do with Shabbat?
Right. The reason why, good.
Because right after the creation, you have Vayichulu, and then you have it right there.
The reason why we abstain from Melachot on Shabbat is Zecher L'Maaseh
Maaseh Bereshit, Rabbi, he built the world for us. What do you mean?
That was Hashem. The rest of the people who did not expect. Only when we were Jews did he expect people to abstain Shabbat.
Zikaron. Look a second. Vayichulu on top. Vayichulu, yes. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים בהם את מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי וכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, right? זיכרון למעשה בראשית, that Hashem completed the universe the way we know it, זיכרון למעשה בראשית.
Yeah.
Right? Now, מה פירוש המשפט הבא? Listen, what is the next sentence? תחילה למקראי קודש.
Well, you skip kihu, but you skip kihu yom techila.
Mister.
I know you, but I know you. That's very nice. But you got to explain why you skipped it.
Larry, I'm holding a Sephardic Siddur. I didn't say what we Ashkenazim say.
They've been wrong before, Rabbi Prague.
oh boy.
I'm teasing. You know that.
Everyone around.
There's no Jimmy. There's no Mal. We're not fighting back.
Everyone
knows.
Holding the Sephardic Siddur. In the Ashkenazic Siddur, you say, "Shabbat Kodsho be'avav ratzon echad." כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש. Believe it or not, Larry, between me and you, my father, I vividly saying, ברוך הבא, ברוך הבא. Bell just walked in.
Perfect time.
Many Ashkenazim don't say כי הוא יום
I know, that's why I'm making sure you,
do, it's in parentheses, ברוך הבא, ברוך הבא, here. Mel Cohen is here. Here.
Larry. Okay, okay.
welcome home.
Hi, Mal, take your seat.
And in a minute you'll see why we put it in
I want to know why. That's what I'm driving at.
זיכרון למעשה בראשית, תחילה למקראי קודש,
Just open it up, 7.
זכר ליציאת מצרים. Now, open your Chumash to Perashat Pinchas. Open your Chumash to Perashat Pinchas. Perashat HaMoadim. Look at Perashat Pinchas.
It's 884.
Look a second, on 890 by you. Page 890 is פרק כ"ח ספר במדבר. Remember, we're listing all the korbanot, yes? Then, how does Shabbat fit in? Look at the. Look, here in Pinchas we have the regular korbanot that the tzibur brings, correct? So the parasha begins. Korban Tamid, the daily Tamid, correct? Then Shabbat, then Rosh Chodesh. Remember, this is in order of.
This is every Shabbat they did this.
This is what we. This is the order of the korbanot. They did the Beit HaMikdash. So first, the daily korbanot, Shabbat, Rosh Chodesh. Then you go to. Look at page 892. You go to Pesach. Then you go to Shavuot. Then you go to Rosh Hashanah. Then you go to Yom. So remember, this Parashat Pinchas is the korbanot of the holiday. Good? Now please go to Parashat Emor. Go back to Sefer Vayikra, Parashat Emor.
Korbanot of the year, though. Actually,
The korbanot
of the year, everything, the day, Shabbat.
It's basically the lashon of the Rambam is tmidim umusafim. Tmidim umusafim. It's Seder Avodah. Now we are going to Sefer Vayikra, Parashat Emor. Which is it, 682, David says, okay? Listen carefully. The beginning of Perek Chav Gimel. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, listen carefully now. דבר על בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, מועדי אדוני, אשר תקראו אותם מקראי קודש, אלה הם מועדיי. The pasuk is clearly telling you what we are about to talk about. Look at the English translation, yes? Guys? The appointed festivals that you are, right? Designate, yes? So I would expect the first one to be Pesach. Shabbat is not a moed, Shabbat is Shabbat. This is the point. Everyone is baffled by what is Shabbat falling into. Eile Moadei. This is not English, this is the Tanakh. Those are the holidays. Shabbat is not a holiday, Shabbat is Shabbat. And the Torah begins with Shabbat. Eile Moadei Hashem asher tikra'u otam mikra'ei kodesh. Eile Moadai. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh melacha ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbaton mikra kodesh. Shabbat. The next is, of course, Pesach. Okay, so you realize if you're really focusing on real text, everyone is pointing out. Look at the Rashi, David Pasuk Gimel. And Rashi points out right away to this question. מה העניין שבת אצל המועדות? Why is Shabbat written by holidays? Rashi 682 on the right side and the bottom. 682 on the right side and the bottom. Says Rashi, ללמדך שכל המחלל את המועדות, if you desecrate, you're not keeping, פסח, שבועות, סוכות, ראש שנה, כיפור, כאילו חילל שבת, וכל המקיים את המועדות, מעלים עליו, כאילו קיים את השבתות. It sounds like דרשה וסעודה שלישית.
Yeah, why do we need a comparison?
But here's the point. What is the essence of all the Moadot, and what is the essence of Shabbat?
Mikra Kodesh.
Let's go now to Kiddush.
That's why he put Mikra Kodesh in the Kiddush.
Let's go now to the Kiddush. Here. Zikaron leMaaseh Bereshit. The Shabbat reminds us about creation. Techila, it's listed the first one by Mikraei Kodesh. We just looked at the pasuk. You know who says this pshat? If you look at the Tur in Reisha and Aleph, I don't have the Tur in front of me. Zika techila leMikraei Kodesh. Zecher leYetziat Mitzrayim. All the Mikraei Kodesh. Oh, we still have it? Oh, here.
Oh, no, maybe we don't. Hold on.
I have it. What are you looking to? I have 271.
How many we have? Two.
No, the Torah only says Gushiavoda Beito.
Wait. Here, take that one. Give them.
Are you going to want to go further? Okay.
Look a second in the Torah in Reisha and Aleph. Listen carefully what the Torah is saying, guys. The Torah is giving us ויאמר ויחולו אף על פי שאמרו בתפילה, yes? חוזר ואומר אותו על הכוס להוציא בניו.
Which halacha you looking at in 271?
The Torah, Yud. You see, הוא מקדש לכוס מלא יין, you have it?
Yes.
Okay, so go to the fourth line.
Gotcha.
ואומר ויחולו אף על פי שאמרו בתפילה, חוזר ואומר על הכוס, ובורא פרי הגפן וקידוש, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. Listen to the two learners, yes? פירוש אולי, שאנו שובתים ביום ששבת בו הקדוש ברוך הוא, we abstain from performing any מלאכה, the same day השם דודית, אחר תכלית קודם לכולם, זכר ליציאת מצרים. So זיכרון למעשה בראשית, we understand. Hashem abstain, we are abstaining and making a statement by that, I believe that God created the world. Good. Now, the Tur is bothered, מה זה זכר ליציאת מצרים? אפשר לומר שהשבת תחילה למקראי קודש, שהם זכר ליציאת מצרים. The first interpretation of the two is very difficult. Read this. זכר ליציאת מצרים means תחילה למקראי קודש. Shabbat is written before the holidays, which they are זכר ליציאת מצרים. Here, why should I put it in the Kiddush?
Why should it be second? It should be first, because they went out of Mitzrayim first and then they had Shabbat.
I'm saying, if the Torah explains that Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim means the holidays are Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim, not the Shabbat, so why am I saying it in the text of the Kiddush? It says that, listen, the Ramban Katav here, שהשבת עצמו זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בעבור, here this the Ramban says that Shabbat is זכר ליציאת מצרים. How is Shabbat connected to the departure of Egypt? כי בעבור היות יציאת מצרים. The miracles, the open miracles pronounced by Moshe in advance. Moreh shows that there is a God in charge of the universe. על כן כתב בדיברות שניות, וזכרת כי עבד היית בארץ מצרים, על כן ציווך השם אלוקיך לעשות את יום השבת. שאם יעלה על לבך if you have a doubt על השבת שמורה על החידוש והחפץ, a person might say, how do I know that God created the world? We are telling him, you have millions of witnesses on יציאת מצרים, שאם יעלה על לבך, says the רמב"ן, ספק על השבת, שמורה על החידוש והחפץ, תזכור מה שראו עיניך ביציאת מצרים, שהיא ראיה לך, שהוא לך לראיה לזכות. והנה השבת, listen good now, זכר ליציאת מצרים, ויציאת מצרים זכר לשבת, they complement each other, כי יזכרו בו ויאמרו, כי השם מחדש אותות ומופתים, ועושה הכל ברצונו. Now what do we gain by that, Larry? We have now the Sephardic Siddur. This is exactly like Ramban. Look at the Siddur. אשר קידישנו במצוותיו, ורצה בנו ביציאת מצרים, it shows us as a nation. ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו. Why are we keeping Shabbat? זיכרון למעשה בראשית. השם rested, this is the זכר, תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. To show you the importance of Shabbat is, this is the first by the list of מקראי קודש, and together all of them are יציאת מצרים. You hear what he said?
What's תחילה at the beginning?
No, תחילה means, in the list in Perashat Yitro, yes? Remember, אלה מועדי השם, look again in 682. אלה מועדי השם, אשר תקראו אותם מקראי קודש, תחילה למקראי קודש, which מועד is listed first במקראי קודש? שבת. So this, now, Nari,
this tequila is referring directly to right
exactly,
here.
this is the two that I just read, until I saw the two באמת, אף פעם לא הבנתי את זה. But since then, from time to time, if I have guests, so what does it mean? תחילה למקראי קודש?
This is the first Kodesh that's listed on there. Okay, very good.
But you see, Larry, if the text is כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, this fits better with the first pshat of the two. This day is written the first one, and the Moadei Kodesh is Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim. But if you take it out, this is exactly the Ramban. If you want to see what Shabbat is a double message. Shabbat is Zecher, yes? Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim, Zecher L'Maaseh Bereshit, and Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim. And again,
you don't say Ki Hu Yom. Personally, you don't say it.
I don't. My father told me before, no, because I remember why. He says, Tizkor Asaba, which means my father's father, Lo Amar it, which means his father didn't do it. This is why it's the Hasidim, all the Hasidim say it. I'll tell you when I have a problem, Larry. When I have guests Friday night, remember, I'm making the Kiddush for them, yes?
Oh, right.
If they always say Ki Hu Yom, so when I have those who I suspect say Ki Hu Yom, in my Kiddush, I add this because my job is to be Motzi them, you understand? But in my Kiddush, my personal Kiddush, when my kids are there, we don't say it.
They might actually feel like they didn't say kid, they didn't
Correct.
Kiddush, you
Correct.
do something else.
Correct. I
Better
don't.
to add than to take away.
It doesn't. Everyone agrees that it's לא מקלקל.
Right.
It's a לא מקלקל. Yes. So now you understand. Look.
Yeah, never understood that whole thing.
מעשה בראשית, תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. Now at the end, בשבת, remember, every ברכה ארוכה, at the end, you summarize what you had. בברכת המזון, yes? It's a long ברכה, at the end, yes?
Asaratakom.
ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו, which is the beginning, yes? Now, ברוך אתה השם מקדש השבת. Now it comes out very nice, yes?
I didn't see really now how well we have both. Our first Shabbat that we're dealing with is Hashem.
Exactly.
Then we have no Shabbat until we're a nation leaving Mitzrayim, and then all of a sudden we get to Mitzvah and Shabbat. Forgetting about who kept it
Right,
in
but
between.
exactly, but this is exactly what
So
he's
these are the
saying.
two concepts of Shabbat that we have in the Torah.
Right, but according to the Ramban, the two brings, it's lightening the eyes, you understand? Basically, the idea is to remember God is the creator. I'm abstaining from melachot. And if you understand this very well, Eli, you understand that on Shabbat I'm permitted to carry 1,500 books from my main library to another room, even though I'm going to be sweating from head to toe.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed to flip the switch. What is asur on Shabbat is creativity, yes? Not toiling on Shabbat. This is a Isur de Rabbanan, yes? But to create, I feel that I'm doing something by creating, yes? Holding money on Shabbat is with the Rabbanan, yes?
Yeah.
Selling an item in my house without other preference is with the Rabbanan, yes?
Cooking something, you're taking something that can't be eaten to being eaten. Is that be
Correct.
creating food almost?
Correct. By bishul is taking not edible food
And making it
and
edible.
making it edible
So you're creating food. It wasn't food before.
by cooking.
Very
Yes.
good. Yeah.
No, but this is really what Shabbat is about. As I told you before, the Rav Avraham ben Arambam, you might get you understand Hebrew well, Larry, but you get the English. There was a very wealthy Sephardic Jew in London, Sassoon. He was really originally from India. India. He had many manuscripts. He collected manuscripts. One of the manuscripts was this book of the son of the Rambam. And later he found someone in London, a very educated guy, to translate it because it was written in Arabic. It was not written, it was written for the masses of the people. So I forgot the name of the translator. I think his name was Tzalach Dorin, whatever. But
Maybe
if you read the first chapter that he talks about, he begins his book by introducing what is the general purpose of mitzvot. And he's choosing Shabbat as an example. He says every mitzvah has multiple levels. Tefillin, we all do it. We and Moshe Rabbeinu are the same. You have to put tefillin shel yad, tefillin shel rosh. What do you think when you put it? The way you respect it is a different level. Yes? No, by Ashkenazi.
Rabbi,
Yes.
you have matbeya beracha.
Nachon, yes.
So that doesn't apply to a long beracha?
Matbeya bracha is the text that Anshe Knesset Agdola wrote the bracha. The Gemara says in brachot that Anshe Knesset Agdola established the text of Amidah of brachot, right? So we can kan b'kiddush. I mean, yesh tegir.
No, but you're switching. You can't switch. You got to pick one or the other.
God, you mean by mine?
Yeah. What's your matbeya? What are you?
One Rambam's money. Yeah, let me just read you the Rambam.
Or maybe it only applies to beracha kesara. I don't know if it applies to
שאלה יפה.
berachot shema or something.
כן, אבל בגלל שיש. Here, listen, I'm reading you now the Rambam's edition for Kiddush. Sammy, פרק כ"ט הלכה ב' אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון ינחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, היא דרמב"ם עזרא בספרדים תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. He doesn't have קיבלנו בחר. Tomorrow I'll show you. I have to find out in old Sidurim. I have many Sidurim. Where is this phrase קיבלנו מחר. Have a nice day, I'll see you בעזרת השם.
Rabbi, thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Really.
Just a short gag on your talk.